Have you ever thought about this? On the land beneath your feet, there once stood a giant monster nearly 3 meters tall and weighing 300 kilograms. It was not a dinosaur, not a beast from legend, but a distant relative of yours, a real super primate that once truly existed. Its name was Gigantopithecus blacki. It was the largest primate in Earth's history. Standing in front of it, you could only look up at its knees. When it opened its mouth, the teeth it revealed were bigger than your fist. With one slap of its palm, it could flatten an adult into something like a photograph. This was not King Kong from a science fiction movie. This was the real ruler that once dominated the forests of Asia 2 million years ago. But then the question is, why did such a top-tier giant beast disappear completely? There was no asteroid impact, no volcanic eruption, no large-scale war. It was simply erased from the Earth in silence. What is even stranger is that the orangutans living in the same forests with it survived to the present day, while Gigantopithecus, larger, stronger, and seemingly more dominant, left no descendants after about 290,000 years ago. This mystery troubled scientists for nearly 90 years. Then, in January 2024, a joint Chinese international research team published the answer in the top academic journal Nature. And that answer is more ironic than any disaster story, because what killed Gigantopithecus was not an enemy, not a natural catastrophe, but something it did every single day: eating. Yes, the most powerful primate on this planet ultimately ate itself into extinction. The story begins in a Chinese medicine shop in 1935. That year, the Dutch paleontologist G.H.R. von Koenigswald found a huge tooth being sold as a dragon bone in a herbal medicine store in Hong Kong. That tooth was fully twice the size of a human molar, yet its shape was strikingly similar to that of a human tooth. Koenigswald realized that this might belong to a species humans had never seen before. He gave this new species the name Gigantopithecus. The Pithecus part of the name was chosen in connection with the naming tradition surrounding Peking man. But in the next 20 years, apart from a few scattered teeth, nobody knew what this giant beast actually looked like, nor where it came from. Not until 1955, when the Chinese paleontologist Pei Wenzhong discovered a large number of Gigantopithecus fossils in caves in Chongzuo, Guangxi. From then on, nearly 2,000 teeth and 4 incomplete lower jaws were discovered one after another, allowing scientists to piece together the astonishing image of this giant beast. According to fossil estimates, an adult Gigantopithecus stood nearly 3 meters tall when upright, about the height of a one-story building. Its weight was between 200 and 300 kilograms, about twice that of a modern gorilla. Its lower jaw was exceptionally thick and strong, and its teeth were covered with thick enamel, specially adapted for grinding high-fiber plants. Imagine a certain morning 2 million years ago. A Gigantopithecus slowly rises in the forests of Guangxi. The ground trembles slightly under its footsteps. The surrounding animals flee the moment they hear it. It does not need to chase prey because it is a vegetarian. It does not need to avoid predators either, because no animal dares to provoke such a giant creature. Every day it only needs to do one thing: eat. Eat huge amounts, eat constantly, because maintaining such a gigantic body requires an astonishing energy supply. Scientists estimate that Gigantopithecus had to consume dozens of kilograms of plants every single day just to meet its basic survival needs. Its entire body structure, including its powerful jaw, its thick teeth, and its strong chewing muscles, was built for one purpose: to convert plants into energy as efficiently as possible. For most of its 2 million year history, this system worked perfectly. The forests of Guangxi provided it with an endless supply of food: leaves, fruits, bamboo shoots, and all kinds of high-fiber plants. Gigantopithecus was like a tireless food processing machine, living an easy life in the forest. It was too successful, so successful that it never needed to change, and that was exactly the seed of its extinction. About 700,000 years ago, Earth's climate began to undergo subtle changes. The cycles of glacial and interglacial periods became more frequent. Seasonality became stronger. Rainfall patterns changed. For the ecosystem as a whole, this was only a routine fluctuation. But for Gigantopithecus, it was an invisible disaster. The once continuous, dense rainforest began to break apart, turning into scattered patches of woodland. The high-nutrition plants that Gigantopithecus loved most began to decline. In their place came more bark, roots, and other coarse foods. If you were a small animal, this would not be a problem at all. You could run farther to look for food. You could change your diet. You could adjust your way of life. But if you were a 300-kilogram giant beast and just staying alive required huge amounts of energy every day, you simply had no room for trial and error. By analyzing the microscopic wear marks and trace elements on Gigantopithecus teeth, scientists reconstructed their diets in different periods. The result was shocking. During prosperous times, Gigantopithecus had a highly varied diet. They could freely choose the best plants in the forest. But by the eve of extinction, their diet had become terrifyingly monotonous, almost entirely made up of low-nutrition fallback foods. Even more deadly, their bodies were still continuing to get bigger. Fossil evidence shows that from the early Pleistocene to the middle Pleistocene, Gigantopithecus teeth and lower jaws kept increasing in size. That means their bodies were also becoming even larger. You heard that right. While food was becoming scarcer and scarcer, Gigantopithecus was actually growing even bigger and heavier. It was like a car whose fuel tank keeps shrinking while the engine power keeps increasing. The ending was predictable. At the same time, its close relatives, the orangutans, made a completely different choice. Faced with environmental change, orangutans adjusted their body size, changed their diet, and expanded their range of movement. They learned to switch between different kinds of habitats and became more flexible and adaptable. But Gigantopithecus could not do that. Its entire body structure was designed for one thing: feeding heavily in a stable forest environment. In a stable environment, this system was flawless, but in a changing environment, it completely lost all adaptability. It was trapped by its own success. The study published in Nature in 2024, through a comprehensive analysis of 22 cave sites in Guangxi, reconstructed for the first time with precision the timing and process of Gigantopithecus extinction. The research team used 6 different dating techniques to analyze 157 samples. Combined with pollen fossils, faunal reconstruction, stable isotopes from teeth, and other multidisciplinary evidence, they drew a complete picture of the extinction pathway. The results showed that Gigantopithecus completely disappeared between 295,000 and 215,000 years ago, much earlier than previous estimates. During that extinction window, Gigantopithecus fossils found in caves dropped sharply. Early caves contained hundreds of teeth, but in caves close to the extinction period, only a few scattered teeth could be found. This shows that their population numbers were collapsing rapidly. Trace element analysis of the teeth shows that, on the eve of extinction, Gigantopithecus was under tremendous survival pressure. Their dietary diversity dropped dramatically. Their range of activity kept shrinking. Their physical condition worsened. They did not migrate, they did not change. They simply stubbornly stayed in the same forests, eating worse and worse food, waiting for their population to shrink bit by bit. In the end, once the population size dropped below the critical threshold, reproductive success declined, genetic diversity was lost, and extinction became inevitable. There was no final battle, no dramatic mass death scene. Just one isolated small group after another, quietly disappearing, until the very last Gigantopithecus was erased from the Earth as well. Researcher Zhang Yingqi from the Institute of Vertebrate Paleontology and Paleoanthropology, Chinese Academy of Sciences, said in an interview, "Compared with more adaptable species like orangutans, Gigantopithecus was an extreme specialist, and that ultimately led to its disappearance." That sentence reveals a cruel truth. In nature, overspecialization equals fragility. Gigantopithecus placed all of its bets on one assumption: the environment had to remain stable. Its body, its habits, and its diet were all highly optimized for a stable forest environment. In a stable environment, that strategy made it king. But in a changing environment, that same strategy directly sentenced it to death. Even more ironic, what killed it was not some violent catastrophe, but merely an ordinary climate fluctuation. If Gigantopithecus had been just a little more flexible, changed its eating habits just a little, or reduced its body size just a little, it might very well have survived to the present day like orangutans. But it could not. Its success over 2 million years made it lose the ability to change. Today, when you see those enormous fossil teeth in a museum, what you are seeing is not just an extinct species. You are seeing a warning about adaptability. The story of Gigantopithecus tells us, strength does not equal safety. Success does not equal permanence. The ones that can truly survive in the long run are not the strongest nor the smartest, but the ones most capable of adapting to change.